Alright, welcome to JT Gatoring. So this is where I post videos where I can't find them on YouTube easily, and I figured I would just create the video so other people could find them. So today we are going to be modifying this trailer to fit this John boat. It's a 1436 Alumacraft. I use a mud motor. May not work for you if you have an outboard, but keep watching if you're still interested in it. Alright, so first thing to worry about is your clearance with your wheel wells. You got to make sure that your boat is going to clear this. So if your boat's extra wide and you may get close to this, then that's just one thing to think of. My boat, I have plenty of clearance, so I'm not worried about the wheel wells. Alright, second thing to think about is the kind of propulsion system that you have on your boat. Longtail mud motor, when I go to back it into the water, the handle's sticking out, the longtail sticking inside the boat where the prop is. So I don't have anything down here that's going to bottom out on the ramp. If you have an outboard that's sticking out and down, it's going to be somewhere around here near the bottom. If you're backing in your boat, you got to worry about tilting that up and getting it out of the way when dropping it in the water. With this, I have no obstructions, no issues, so I can lower this down as low as I need to. So outboard, probably wouldn't want to lower it as much as I am, but for a longtail mud motor, it's going to be perfect. So that's the second thing to think about. The only thing that may worry me about this is with it being low to the ground, the tiller handle for my mud motor is going to stick out to about here, and it's going to be, instead of being about here, it's going to be lower. So that's one thing when you're trailering it, that may need to be even more visible than you normally mark it, because people may not see it at that low of a level. So just another thing to keep in mind. Another thing that it's not as bad as usual, but some people I see a lot more overhang here. You don't want any overhang because that'll actually cause a cup in your boat from the boat bouncing. If you have a really heavy motor on the back and you're putting a lot of weight here, then you're going to cause it to dent a lot more. I used to keep a battery back here. It wasn't over the bunk, it was back here, and you can see that there's a lot of dents, divots, and the battery's bouncing up and down. So that's one thing to think about with your battery. But also you want your bunks. This was the whole reason why I really wanted to adjust this, was I wanted this boat to sit more about here for the transom. I didn't want it overhanging because you're going to cause that to cause a dent in there. So it's almost like pushing this whole boat forward, but in all reality I'm just going to bring these bunks back with the way I'm going to mount it. So you don't want your transom to overhang your bunks. So another thing to think about is how far forward or how far back you want to move this. It will affect your turning radius. So like on the bed of my truck, there's a dent from somebody who was backing up the trailer, didn't realize how far the corner of the boat was, and it dented the corner of the bed. So if you move this really far forward, your truck bed's going to be closer here. So as you turn, this is going to come in contact with your trailer. So the further back, the more turning radius you have, the closer to it, the less turning radius you're going to have if you're trying to back this into tight corners. Another thing to think about is your winch height. How far up, how far down you want it to go. I wanted to put it above the handle. I didn't want to put it below because I didn't want the boat sliding down, resting the handle onto that and putting all the weight on the handle and breaking these rivets or cracking or doing anything weird. So this way it's pushed up against this at the bow. If the boat drops, then it's not catching on anything, which could be a bad thing, but I have the strap here and safety straps or safety chains. And that's the way that I wanted it. I didn't put it under there because I didn't want the boat to slip, fall, or put weight on this handle to crack it or put constant weight on it. So that was just my idea. You can change it, do what makes you happy. Alright, this one's a combo. So you want your boat to sit straight. Right now I have too much pressure up on that roller. Right there. I have too much pressure there. It's not sitting straight. It's putting more weight on that roller. Then it's almost, the boat's sitting like this, so you want it level. And another thing to think about is right here in the center. When I'm loading the trailer, I back it in too far, and the first few times I think I was bottoming out on this, which really dents up the boat and scratches it. So if you want to help protect yourself, either don't back it in as far as you think you do, or I'm going to use some PVC, use a heat gun and put it over top. You could also just screw the PVC onto this if you're not worried about clearance. But I'm going to drop everything down, take a look at it, and if I'm worried about it, then I'll go ahead and then some PVC pipe to fit over this and form so that way it doesn't scratch and dent.